The information is presented for educational purposes only, is not intended to diagnose or prescribe for any medical or psychological condition, or prevent, treat, mitigate, or cure such conditions. This information is only presented herein for entertainment and educational purposes only. Living Waters Wellness Center was formed after we discovered how to heal my own body from the multiple symptoms, including allergies, asthma, chronic fatigue, back pain, psoriasis, acne, hives, yeast infections, and finally, cancer. After 20 years of trying numerous different treatments, everything from medical to cleanses, iridology, muscle therapy, acupuncture, acupressure, homeopathy, naturopathy, these experiences led us to discover the recipe that became known as the 4 Natural Laws of Healing, combining multiple natural healing modalities to fully detox, cleanse the body, and then allowing the body to take the perfect nutrition to fully restore the body back to its innate health. This became known as the 10-Day Healing Retreat. We have helped thousands of people just like you get their health restored so they can live their life to the fullest extent. If you want to know what that looks like, go to livingwaterscleanse.com and click on the video 4 Natural Laws of Healing, or call the office at 208-378-9911.
Good morning, Americans. David DeHaas here, the host of the Whole Body Detox Show from Living Waters Wellness Center, where miracles begin by healing from within. This show is all about getting you healthy and getting the knowledge you need. Living Waters Wellness Center has been around for 14 years, 5 months, and 10 days, but who's counting? Well, I have been. Each week, we're providing you necessary education and tools, detox, and heal the body following the 4 natural laws of healing. To learn details about the 4 natural laws, go over to the website, livingwaterscleanse.com, click on the link, 4 Natural Laws of Healing, and watch it. And by the way, if you want to miss any parts of the show, which you should not ever miss, but if you do, you can catch it all on the podcast platform at wholebodydetoxshow.com. I'm here because years ago I was sick, and I had to figure out how to get well because I wasn't getting well via traditional means. And so I spent about 20 years, and I'm an avid reader and studier and willing to try anything. And I spent well over $200,000 trying to figure out how to get well. And that eventually led us to the last recipe, if you will, which became the 10-Day Healing Retreat here at Living Waters Wellness Center. So if you want to come down and take a tour and see what all we do, please do. We just had a gentleman stop in yesterday from the show, and we gave him a little tour, and he watched the video, and he's very excited to know what he now knows and know what to do to get well. Today's show, we're going to be talking about all matters of the gut. I think you're going to find this show really fascinating. I find it fascinating. And so my job is to describe this to you the best you can. So for those of you who have any kind of gut problems, gas, bloating, yeast, candida, acid reflux, this is the show for you. So your ability to fully digest starts when you take that first bite and put it in your mouth. And job one is for you to chew, 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 because it's the right thing to do. Yes, you should remember that tune, chew, 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 because it's the right thing to do. Yes, let your teeth be your blender and let it masticate and let that saliva come up and really work on that food. And then when the esophagus takes it, it creates a peristalsis action. And it's going to drop it into your stomach. Now, ideally, you would have great stomach acids there, but as we age, we have less and less stomach acids. It's important to have good acids. So I've been taking a formula for a long time called digestive formula. And what this formula is meant to do is help increase the acids in my stomach. Now, some of you who are on acid blocking medication, maybe you're taking Tums because you've had heartburn. I'm going to explain why that's happening and why you should not be doing that. So when the food goes down into the stomach, this is where the breakdown of the material, the food that you ate, is going to take place. So your stomach's going to release 2 things, hydrochloric acid and an enzyme called pepsin. The stomach acid is doing a couple of things. It's breaking down the proteins and minerals for later protein synthesis in the body. And, this is important to note, it's killing bacteria, fungi, parasites, and viruses coming in with the food and water. Now, the proteins, especially if you eat steak or chicken or whatever, they need a little help. And so if you can imagine for a moment, these acids come together and imagine some little men popping out with little axes. And they're going to start breaking down the long chains that hold that protein together. It's really important that breakdown occurs properly. So the less stomach acid you have, the harder that is for it to do. Any proteins that you've eaten are made of hundreds of thousands of individual amino acids. They're all bonded together in long chains like a beaded thread and then coiled up. But the coil is also bonded together, holding together as a, quote, protein. So the first thing that happens, the stomach acids break the bonds holding the coils together. It's one long chain. Then the pepsin starts breaking the bonds that hold the overall chain together. You can't break them all down, but it breaks up most of them. So by the end of this, you have got it broken down into maybe 20 to 40 amino acids each. So while all this is happening, the stomach acids have been rising and rising and rising. Ideally, that's happening, and it's getting to a level of pH of about 1 or 2. Now, the stomach can handle that because the mucosal lining in its walls is built to withstand it. It's absolutely fascinating. You have a small little valve down there at the end of that stomach, and it needs to pop open to let it drop into the duodenum and into the small intestine. And so as this acid is rising to a 1 or 2, I shouldn't say rising, the average pH in the body is about 7, 7.2, 7.4 in that range. So that's a standard pH of your saliva and so forth. In the stomach, it's very, very high. So if you go down in numbers, you're getting higher. If you go higher in numbers up to, say, a 10, that's very, very alkaline. If you cook the steak and burn it, it would probably be a 10 on the pH scale. It'd be very alkaline. So what happens if you don't get the pH to a 1 or 2, and you don't have enough acids, then the food is going to get rancid, and eventually it's going to start bubbling up and burn in the esophagus. And that's not made to handle the acids, and you've got what they call heartburn or acid reflux. When there's not enough stomach acid, not when there's too much. So the whole idea of giving you this to soften a symptom is the wrong way to go. You want more acids. You want it very acidic. And if you have that, you're not going to have the heartburn. Hence why, as you age, you should be on a digestive formula every time you eat. No, probiotics aren't going to solve this problem. It's an acid problem. You need more acids, not less. The Americans have been fooled and lied to for a long, long time. So, to repeat, you need more acids, not less, to properly break down the food. And if you don't, you're going to have it become rancid and go back up through that valve up the top and into your esophagus, and you don't like the life you're living at that point. Now, once that valve pops open at the bottom of your stomach, it's going to move into the small intestine where more enzymes come in, further breaking down the short amino acid chains in any protein. So there's, again, imagine little guys down there with little hatchets just hacking away, breaking these up so you can digest them. Other enzymes also start breaking down the fats and carbohydrates, and all these are broken down pieces start moving through the intestinal wall into the blood vessels that will take them to the liver. And the liver filters all of this, looking for any toxins, which it basically tags and says, hey, dude, you're off to the kidneys to get out of the body. And then the others lets it all into the bloodstream. But the protein breakdown is very, very, very important. Amino acid chains must be fully broken down into individual amino acids for many reasons. First, if they're fully broken down, the body can now use them to build new proteins and collagen in the form it needs from muscles, bone, hormones, enzymes, etc. If they're fully broken down, the body can't use them at all. When that happens, they continue through the digestive system and leave the body as waste, or they're absorbed into the bloodstream and cause inflammation in the body. Is this ringing bells with anybody? So when you don't have the acids, remember, you've got viruses and bacteria and other pathogens and foreign invaders on your food. And if the acids did not get to kill them because you didn't have enough, guess where they go? They get into the bloodstream. And now you've got other problems. You've got more inflammation. You've got possibly an autoimmune problem as well. Now, this is fascinating. Your small intestine, it's about 25 to 27 feet in length. And it's surrounded by 3 walls. The first is an inner lining about 1 cell in thickness, which sees the broken down nutrients and lets them through. It says, yep, good, you're good to go. Come on through. We need your help. The third wall is blood vessels surrounding the intestine, which takes nutrients to the liver. But the second wall between these two is made up of the immune tissue, the lymphatic tissue. So that's why when you hear people talk about 80% of your immune system in the gut, they're right. When the food comes in the small intestine, this lymph tissue sends out immune cells to check for any foreign invaders. When the immune cells find some, they send antibodies to surround and destroy them. So now we have an immune response. There's always some inflammation during an immune response. So if there are a lot of bacteria, like say salmonella poisoning, you might get a bellyache or an immune response. You might even throw up or have a discharge. So remember, protein also needs to be broken down into individual amino acids. So, and that's a tough job, especially if you eat, for example, steak. Steak, about 9% of the steak is utilized by the body, the rest is waste. Chicken breaks down obviously easier, 13% is utilized, the rest is waste. And eggs is even better, it's 33% utilized, the rest is waste. We've been talking about the digestive system and how to prevent acid reflux and how to increase the absorbability of the nutrition into your body to lower inflammation. If you miss any parts of the show, please check out our podcast, The Whole Body Detox Show, wholebodydetoxshow.com. There's also links on our website. If you forget that, Living Waters Cleanse, livingwaterscleanse.com. If you want to schedule an appointment and reach out to us and learn how you can heal our body and learn about our 10-day healing retreat, call the office, 208-378-9911, 208-378-9911. Okay, so where we left off, we were talking about what happens when the food hits this small intestine and how you got these three fascinating walls where the food, if properly broken down, is going to get absorbed. Interesting about the body is it sees these proteins and it sees these other foreign invaders, bacteria, parasites, etc. They have a whole protein structure. So if the breakdowns happen properly, then the antibodies in your body either kill these whole proteins, or some may be taken into the bloodstream and land somewhere in the body, in which case the immune cells go there to kill them. Fascinating how this all works. In this case, we feel inflammation at the spot where these guys landed due to their immune response. So the immune cells also remember the exact protein structure. They got amazing memory of these invaders, so they remember them in the future. They do this so they don't mistake the body's own protein structures for harmful bacteria and attack them. That's what's called an autoimmune disease, when the body mistakes itself for the harmful invaders and attacks itself. So look at this. If your digestive system didn't fully break down all the protein into individual amino acids, remember the little guys in the stomach? Yeah. If it didn't do that, some or partial of the amino acid chains got into the bloodstream, then it knows they aren't individual aminos or bodily protein structures and they assume they're harmful bacteria. Not a good thing to happen. So this launches an immune response against the partially broke down proteins, and immune response causes inflammation. Hello, anybody out there? Is this ringing true for you? You got inflammation? We're going to tell you how to take care of this in just a moment. If you've got low stomach acid, it's going to be caught. So every day you have to constantly create inflammation in the body where these partial proteins land. Meanwhile, you're wanting to heal and repair your body and build more muscle, but you can't because your body's on this high alert and is sometimes attacking your own body. Now you've got constant stress in the body, your cortisol levels go up. Your cortisol is your fight or flight hormone, and now your body's going to put on more pounds. So does this ring true for anybody that's listening today? So if you've got low stomach acids, more harmful bacteria can make their way into the small intestine without being killed in the stomach. For those of you who just went through, all of us who went through the 2020 debacle pandemic, those of who knew about immune system, we kept our stomach acids up. We ate the right foods. We didn't add inflammation to the system. So reach out to us and get a good digestive formula right away so you can keep your stomach acids up. Because remember, you're not getting better as you age and making stomach acids. You're getting worse. Now, when the bacteria and viruses get into the small intestine, it's not acidic there. It's warm and dark. So these guys start consuming some of the food that you are providing to your body. And what do they give you in return, these little creatures? Gas and bloating. So this affects your energy levels, your hormones, hunger cravings, and your ability to gain and lose muscle and fat. So if we don't get all the food we're consuming because it's not broken down enough, or it's being consumed by bacteria and parasites, then you'll still feel hungry even if you eat a lot. You'll have cravings created by these bad bacteria, especially for fast-acting sugar, which can raise fat storage, and we'll have less amino acids for building muscle, making hormones that direct our body to build muscle and for enzymes that break down our fat. These chemicals are made and perform their function, and boom, they're gone. They need to be constantly replaced inside the body. So we need proteins fully broken down, and we need these bacteria killed off. Some may say, is this where we need a vaccine, Dave? And I would say, no, you don't need a vaccine, because a vaccine's not all-inclusive and all-knowing. And not only that, but vaccines come with their own load of garbage in them. The heavy metals, like aluminum and thimerosal, which is mercury. And the parasites love that stuff. The bacteria and fungi love that stuff because it's what feeds them. And now it makes you even more inflamed. We use a product here at the office. We call it my mom calls them the magic pills. My mom's 84, my dad's 90, and I have them on a load of this stuff. And it's a perfect amino for the body because it comes at 8 essential amino acids. It's 99% utilized by the body. For those of you who are having a little brain fog, it's great. If you're exercising a lot, it's great. If you're trying to heal and repair anything, your broken bones, etc., it's absolutely fantastic. And reach out to us at the office at 208-378-9911 to learn more about that and get yourself an appointment and get some of these. It's very inexpensive to have. But as far as protein goes, especially 75% of you listening today are type O blood. You need protein, and I'm going to tell you, you get it. You need this particular product to add to what you're doing because it's going to get better absorbed and utilized. So if you're experiencing indigestion, heartburn, GERD, gas and bloating, I highly, highly, highly recommend you take a good digestive enzyme formula, and we have one here at the office. You want to call us at 208-378-9911. As an important note, over the years, I've had many, many people come to me with the problems that they have acid reflux. And I put them on 2 particular products. I tell you, I had one guy that he had been relegated to sleeping sitting up at night, and he had missed work for about 2 weeks. And I said, look, you're going to invest here about $75. You're going to get your 2 quality products. You're going to take this and let me know what happens. He had immediate results, and he went back to work in a couple of days. He came in and came back, and he thanked me for changing his outcome because he was absolutely mineral. Many other people have experienced the same fate. They've been on their medication, and we have given them the digestive formula and a very good quality probiotic, told them to chew their food till it's juice, and we have got them well quite quickly. The other part that ties in here is, of course, rebalancing out the gut by cleaning out the old debris. So there's more to this story. Some of you may have been diagnosed with SIBO, which is known as small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. How the heck did that happen? Well, I just told you basically. So these little bacteria are creating gas and bloating. They raise the inflammation levels. They demand sugary foods. Hello, those of you who are addicted to sugar. Yeah, now you know what's going on. You've got an intestinal problem. So then they also begin degrading your intestinal lining so it lets through more of these harmful bacteria along with other toxins into your bloodstream. And that can lead to bacterial infections, toxicity, inflammation throughout the body. Not good. And some of you will get a label of leaky gut because you got those little small tears in the intestinal lining that's dropping stuff in the bloodstream that shouldn't be there, and your immune system is attacking itself, or maybe you also have the diagnosis of autoimmune. Sound familiar? When we bring people through our 10-day healing retreat, which you can learn about on the website at livingwaterscleanse.com, we address all of this over the 10 days. We're going to clean out the colon, clean out the small intestine, and we're going to heal all this. And what's amazing is how quickly the body can turn this around. It's fascinating. You have brand new cells within 5 days. So we put you on a soft food diet consisting of just soups and juices, and we're giving you the enzymes, and we're doing all this stuff at the same time. We're not treating you as a piece and a part. No, we're giving you treating the whole body naturally at one single time. So you want to watch that video, 4 Natural Laws of Healing, over at the website, livingwaterscleanse.com. Or if you're not on the internet, come to the office at 20 and call 208-378-9911, and we'll set you up in front of a little DVD player and let you watch it and give a little tour of the facility. Maybe drink a cup of tea at the same time and enjoy yourself, and you're going to learn about how you're going to heal all this naturally. So that's what we're here for, to teach you how to heal the body naturally. Look, we're all in this together. We have a sick workforce. If we have sick people, you can't think clearly, and obviously there's a lot of not very clear-headed thinking going on in our country right now. We need to heal the body naturally. You've been listening to David DeHaas, host of the Whole Body Detox Show. If you missed any parts of this show today, catch it over the podcast, wholebodydetoxshow.com, livingwaterscleanse.com, 208-378-9911. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.
You can't treat the body and heal it a piece at a time. You have to treat the whole body naturally. That's why Living Waters Wellness Center 10-day healing retreat is so successful in helping what I call the incurables back to wellness. Here's what a few clients had to say about their experience at Living Waters Wellness Center.
For over a year, I've been dealing with gas pains, stomach pains, and it's been waking me up in the middle of the night, so I never get a full night's rest. And last night, after my first colonics, I slept through the entire night without any stomach pain or any kind of issues.
I suffered from migraine headaches for 12 years, once a month, and since I did the 10-day retreat at Living Waters Wellness Center 8 years ago, I have not even had a migraine. I've not even had a headache.
I had back pain on my left side for about 20-25 years. After the 10-day healing retreat, the pain is completely gone.
To learn more about the 10-day healing retreat, go to healingtheincurables.com or call the office at 208-378-9911. That's 208-378-9911. The preceding examples may not be typical of your experience and may not be right for you. Seek the opinion of a qualified healthcare professional before determining if cleansing is right for you.
Welcome back. David DeHaas, your host of the Whole Body Detox Show from Living Waters Wellness Center, where miracles begin by healing from within. And if you're looking to get your healing miracle, your health miracle, reach out to the office at 208-378-9911. Our next 10-day retreat is coming up here on June the 8th. And then we have to wait all the way into July 17th for the one after that. We only do one per month. We take 5 people. It's a very intimate, very personalized cleanse. Lots of personal attention on this cleanse. You learn so much. One of the big things that people always remark is how much they learned on the 10-day healing retreat. And not only did they learn a lot, but they healed their body naturally, and now they can go about living their best life. And isn't it time you start living your best life? Why walk around with all this hurt and inflammation? We are the kings and queens of healing inflammation. Today we've been talking about what happens to the digestive system. You missed any parts of this, catch it over on the Whole Body Detox Show, of course. But anyway, let's continue. We're talking about SIBO, small intestinal bowel overgrowth, and that's because you've got low stomach acids, and you're allowing bacteria and viruses to get into the small intestine where they've got lots of free food, and they're feeding on that and causing you to crave more things like sugars and other things because you are not able to break them down properly, all the food down properly. So you're craving things because you're undernourished because of the parasites stealing your food. Let's get rid of those critters. Of course, they give off a gaseous product, and which causes you to bloat, especially around the waist. If you've ever seen someone do an effective bacterial cleanse or digestive cleanse that included antibacterials to kill SIBO, then you may have noticed that sometimes they lose inches around their waist. But usually in my experience, if you use antibiotics for this, you've just thrown in the nuclear bomb and you've killed all the good guys as well. We don't want to do that. And usually you're going to crave things that they're going to feed the bacteria but not feed you, like sugary foods, grains, breads, processed sugars, starchy foods. The bacteria thrive on these things. And so you could actually take some kind of antibacterial and still not affect it. And now you're walking around, you got the gassiness, the bloatiness, you feel horrible, you can't think clearly. And the bad news is these guys are all communicating to your brain. Yeah, the bad guys and the good guys are all competing on the same telecommunications pathway to the brain. You're confused. This ring true for anybody? If you're confused about what's going on in your body and you don't feel good, you can't think clearly, which is why I mentioned we've got a thinking problem in this country, obviously. So if you haven't had your sugar fix for a while, these guys can communicate and says, hey, dudes, we're hungry. Send us some sugar. Send us some carbohydrates. Come on. And you've been trying to swear off the sugar, the chocolates, your breads or whatever, but you can't. I mean, you're addicted like any addicted person because these little bacteria down there are sending these signals saying, feed me, feed me. Yeah, that's what's going on. And so you feed yourself. You have a big dose of sugar via whatever, bread or cookies or cake or a soda or whatever, and it calms you down for a while, and you say, okay, I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to resolve. I'm going to do this. I got this goal. I'm going to not eat sugar. But you can't because you're addicted, because these little bacteria are down in the gut demanding you pay attention. And your autonomic nervous system is following their lead. It says, yeah, no problem. Yeah, we'll send that channel up there to the brain, and yeah, you'll take action to do that. And that's what happens. So that's what we're really good at. We actually have several tools here to help kill off these bad dudes that are down there. One is a PEMF machine. We talked about pulsed electromagnetic frequency machines way back in episode number 14 called Healing with the On-Demand PEMF. We had Dr. Sylvia Bender on that show. That's a show you definitely want to check out. Fascinating how she shared with us how they were using this special machine during the pandemic back in 2020 in the country she was in, using this and some vitamins and minerals, and they never did shut down. They used energy medicine, the PEMF. So it's a great tool. I was very excited about this years ago. I ran into this at another naturopath's office, and that's how we became familiar with it, because I had severe amount of Candida yeast and fungus in my body. You learn also more about this machine over on our website, livingwaterscleanse.com, and also in the webinar, 4 Natural Laws of Healing, found over at livingwaterscleanse.com. And again, if you want to come into the office and watch this video, and if you want to take a little tour, 208-378-9911. And it's also really important why colon hydrotherapy comes in the picture, because you've got stuff fermenting and rotting, which the average person does, carrying 12 to 15 pounds, just extra baggage in the trunk. We need to clean that out as well. So there's a lot of tools we're using, the herbs and the fibers and the clays and so forth, and the machines. We combine all these things to speed up the healing process. That's why you see so many people have wonderful healing miracles when they come through our 10-day healing retreat. We're not treating you as little pieces of individuality in the body. We're treating the whole body at once, which is really, really important. We're also addressing the mental, emotional, as well as the physical. So it's really important to approach it from that standpoint. So as again, we mentioned earlier, when you have these bacteria and virus and fungi that were not killed in the stomach because you didn't have enough stomach acid, and you're not taking a digestive enzyme formula like what we use here at Living Waters, then you're going to have this go into the small intestine. And as we mentioned earlier, you have 3 different walls there. And they have very, very tight junctions in here. And this is where the vitamins and minerals are supposed to drop into the bloodstream and go out to the cells, because the cells house your engines, your furnaces. It's called the mitochondria. And that's where these things need to go. But if you're dropping other food particles in there that should not be there, the body gets pretty concerned, and it now starts attacking it and starts attacking you, and you have this inflammation trigger. We talk a lot about the lymphatic system, and the second wall of the small intestine is the lymph tissue. And so stuff gets to the lymphatic system, and what's amazing is you have 45 pints of lymphatic fluid in your body. There's no pump for it. Your pump is moving, jumping. And when that doesn't happen, it gets stagnant. So we actually have a machine down here, which I highly recommend you invest in. Come down and try it out if you like. Just call the office at 208-378-9911. Come down and shake on this machine. Many of you get on this machine and you immediately start itching. Come to find out, you've also got leaky gut problems, and you've got a lot of toxicity and gas and bloating and brain fog. Maybe worse, you've got some more severe issues because you've let it go on far too long. But when we start applying the colonics with the lymphatic detox and the proper foods, you will get rid of your cravings. You'll get rid of these bacteria because we're going to basically zap these puppies with that PEMF machine I told you about a few minutes ago, as well as using the herbs and the supplements. So it's really important to address the whole body at once. Otherwise, you're going to waste a lot of money, just like I did so many years ago, doing one little thing at a time. I took tinctures. I did homeopathy. All great stuff. But the problem is I had a very severely toxic gut because I was constipated. And most of you listening to the show are constipated. Oh, I know. You say, I go once a day. I have a great bowel movement. Yeah, you should be eating and pooping and not letting all that stuff sit there. And it's important that you keep up on the entire body, keeping it cleansed. So there's more than just meets the eye, if you will, and that's why you want to watch the video for natural laws of healing. We've been talking about small intestinal bacterial overgrowth and how to digest properly if you've been having acid reflux or other problems. We explained that earlier in the hour. So we're continuing here on what's happening in the digestive system, which is quite fascinating. So as I mentioned earlier, if you don't have enough stomach acids, you want to create those by using a good digestive formula. Because as stuff gets in the small intestine, this is where the vitamins and minerals and so forth drop into via these little tight junctures. So there's little gatekeepers, if you can imagine for a moment, open up the little cell walls and let the right stuff drop in most of the time. Remember, it's just one cell thick, and the cells in this wall form a kind of interlocking net with these tight junctures. They have a mucosal lining that protects them, which the nutrients can rub across, allowing cells to see what is there, and they can make a decision. So there is an amino acid, a very specific protein called zonulin, that basically stimulates the opening of these tight junctions to let the nutrition go through so they make their way to the liver, into the bloodstream, and out to the cells. But when toxins or harmful bacteria or parasites come across the mucosal lining, the cells see this and know to keep the tight junctions closed to them, waiting for the immune cells to wake up and come attack them. Away from the second wall, the lymphatic tissue. But there's something else also going on as well. But there's some sneaky bacteria lying beneath, and sometimes they can stimulate the release of zonulin and fool a body into allowing these viruses and toxins into your blood system or lymphatic system. And sometimes these housekeepers or doorkeepers, if you will, fall asleep on the job, and these doors just are wide open. And now you got all kinds of havoc going on, creating more inflammation in the body. Basically, you're going to have other small infections throughout the body, and now that we have all-out war on yourself, and your immune system is trying to ramp up and get the planes off the carriers of the decks, and there's just so much chaos, it just can't. It's just overwhelmed, and that's where we have full-on problem. When this happens, you're going to have lower energy because your body's using up the nutrition it's getting in the best it can, and it's taking the nutrients and amino acids from supplies that would normally go to the cells throughout the body, and it's just basically it's focusing on this one area. So due to raised inflammation, the body releases more cortisol, that stress hormone, that again raises inflammation, converts testosterone and progesterone into estrogen, which is a fat creation hormone when too high, lowers the thyroid due to this, as well as energy levels, and increases insulin for more fat creation and fat loss prevention, that makes you feel stressed out. The end result is toxins being allowed in the body to harm the cells, bacterial infections, minor or even major. They raise inflammation, lower energy, out of balance hormones, speaking to anyone here. And it all started because you didn't chew your food and you didn't have good, strong stomach acids to break it down and kill off these viruses and bacteria. So in the beginning is where it's really important to address how you're eating your food and what's happening in that stomach. See this all the time. People come in and they say, gee, I can't lose weight. It's because you've got this huge overgrowth in your body, Candida, yeast, the bacteria and the viruses that you're probably not even aware of. Maybe you've got signs of it showing. Maybe you've got hives or rashes or severe psoriasis, which is what I had at one time, thanks to severe heavy metal toxicity from my fillings in my teeth. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Who'd ever think about that? So when people come in here, one of the first things I ask you, do you have root canals? Do you have mercury fillings, silver fillings in your mouth? What has been the history of your teeth? I deep dive into this. I give you so much information in that first consult, which I charge you a big fat whopping $0 for. Really, it's $1 million investigation. I ask a lot of questions. and we uncover what's been going on. And I show you how simple it is to heal the body natural, following the 4 natural laws. But back to this, it all started above, right? In the gut. You've got to have the proper stomach acids. And we want to drop the right nutrients, and we want to make sure those gatekeepers are awake and alert and doing their job properly. And they can't when you've got all this bacteria and these little funguses and toxins in there causing you to get off kilter, basically, right? So to sum up, some of the bacteria produce gas in the small intestine, which causes bloating. And some of what they release is also toxic and injures the cells in the first wall of the stomach, which, remember, just one cell thick. And over time, it will outright kill some of these cells, creating even more chance of harmful bacteria and toxins getting through. So the digestive tract is really the root of what you need to heal first if you want to heal anything. I don't care if it's cancer, if it's ALS, if it's Parkinson's, if it's brain fog, you've got to start with the gut. It's so how it lives is how you live, as evidenced by what we talked about today. So first of all, what you need to do is you need to go watch that video, The 4 Natural Laws of Healing, and learn the importance of colon hydrotherapy. You've got 5 to 7 feet of intestinal tract. The surface area of your intestinal tract is the size of a tennis court. And it's like shag carpet. So imagine all these little fingerlings. This is the tight junction we talked about. And some of those have been broken off and destroyed. And you've got lazy little gatekeepers down there because of the bacteria and toxins in there. And so you need to heal that up. And that's the beauty of what we do here on our 10-day healing retreat. People always ask me, David, how many colonics should I do? And my question is, well, how good do you want to feel? You come in here and do 3 colonics, you're not going to heal yourself totally. There's just no way. It takes at least 10 days to get around the colon by itself. And then if you're not applying everything else above and addressing the parasites and addressing the fungi in your body, which most people have today in overabundance thanks to way too many heavy metals via, there's so many ways to get heavy metals, but teeth is one of them. Lots of vaccines are another source of getting heavy metals. Drinking out of aluminum cans, that's another one. Please don't drink out of aluminum can. You're just setting yourself up for brain fog and dementia, and again, these hormone issues. So many of you come in here and you've got hormone problems, and you've been addressing the symptom, and you've not been treating the root cause. We got to clean out that liver to clean up the blood. We got to clean up the lymphatic system, which is why it's so important to be moving that lymphatic fluid every day. We use a whole body vibration machine here. You can learn more about it at healthvibrate.com, healthvibrate.com, or also over on the website livingwaterscleanse.com under treatments. Really important to address the whole body at once. Okay, you know, you've got your heart is another issue. We teach a lot about heart coherence here. We actually show people how you can change your emotions, your mental and emotional, spiritual, with using heart coherence. What's heart coherence, Dave? Too long for me to go into on this show, but let me tell you, your heart speaks loudly and voluminously in the amount of energy and frequency and information it gives to the brain versus the brain to the heart. And we want to get those two aligned so that we can heal. And remember, your thoughts matter. 99.99999% of every atom in every cell, and you've got trillions of cells, trillions of atoms, is simply space. It's not matter. It's information. It's energy. Change the energy, change the information, change the cells. So guys, we talked a lot about today. It's important that we treat the whole body at once. And we've got to do that by first clearing out the old junk. Not only physically, but mentally, emotionally as well. And they all work together. It's important you do that if you want to live your best life. Watch the video at 4 Natural Laws of Healing over the website, livingwaterscleanse.com. Make an appointment to come out and have your free consult and see if this is the right thing for you to be doing. I'm David DeHaas from Living Waters Wellness Center, livingwaterscleanse.com. If you missed the podcast, check it over at wholebodydetoxshow.com. Until next week, have a blessed week, my friends.
You can't treat the body and heal it a piece at a time. You have to treat the whole body naturally. That's why Living Waters Wellness Center 10-day healing retreat is so successful in helping what I call the incurables back to wellness. Here's what a few clients had to say about their experience at Living Waters Wellness Center.
For over a year, I've been dealing with gas pains, stomach pains, and it's been waking me up in the middle of the night, so I never get a full night's rest. And last night, after my first colonics, I slept through the entire night without any stomach pain or any kind of issues.
I suffered from migraine headaches for 12 years, once a month, and since I did the 10-day retreat at Living Waters Wellness Center 8 years ago, I have not even had a migraine. I've not even had a headache.
I had back pain on my left side for about 20-25 years. After the 10-day healing retreat, the pain is completely gone.
To learn more about the 10-day healing retreat, go to healingtheincurables.com or call the office at 208-378-9911. That's 208-378-9911. The preceding examples may not be typical of your experience and may not be right for you. Seek the opinion of a qualified healthcare professional before determining if cleansing is right for you.